Hi, I'm Japanese university student, and today I want to talk about why Japanese people cannot speak English. This video is not only for telling you about Japanese people, but also just I want to practice speaking English, so maybe I may use some long expressions or I will do some long pronunciation, but please forgive me. This is just practice. So, why can't Japanese people speak English? I came up several reasons, and the first reason is that actually Japanese people don't need to speak English. Like, for example, if you want to become a billionaire, and if you are Japanese, you actually don't need to learn English to broaden your business. For example, if you're born in a tiny country, you maybe need to learn some other languages to to like spread the business and earn money. But when it comes to Japan, you don't need to learn other languages because Japanese economy is quite big. So there is no motivation to study English. Japanese is enough. There are a lot of Japanese contents. If you want to become rich, you can become if you can speak Japanese. This is the first reason. And next, the second reason. The second reason is the English education in Japan is not for speaking. I was born and raised in Japan, so I studied English in Japanese education system. And the first time when I learned English was probably the elementary school student, so maybe 10 or 11 years old. And at that time in elementary school, the learning English is not for learning English is not intensive. It's just like playing with English. It's just like it's not for study. It's just for fun. And after getting into the junior high school, you need to learn English intensively for entrance exam, basically. If you're a junior high school student, you need to learn English for high school entrance exam. If you are a high school student, you need to learn English for the university's entrance exam. So the goal of learning English is to get a high score in exam. That's our goal. And usually in the exam, there are several questions about grammars, vocabularies, and leading questions like after reading the stories or something, you need to answer the questions. And also there are light English light listening exam, and also a little bit writing exam. So basically, we need to learn grammar and a lot of vocabulary, and I need to read English fast. So we just don't focus on communication through English. So a lot of people are not good at listening to and speaking in English. So that's the problem. So before entering the university, I also could not speak any English. I mean, maybe I could, but I had never spoken English before entering the university. So I can read English and I can listen to a little bit easy English, like the English that is for exam. So the English voice is very fluent and easy to listen. In that case, I could listen to it, but I have never experienced the practical English speaking and listening. So that was just unbalance. Like, I can read English and I know a lot of English vocabulary and also grammar, but I could not just speaking and listening to it. So that's very big problem, and maybe a lot of people who study English for speaking after graduating from high school think that with Japanese education systems for English must be changed, but that doesn't change anymore. Maybe it's hard to change because entrance exams are really big things in Japan, so breaking those exams rule and exam systems are quite difficult. So yeah, I wish those systems could be changed in the future, but yeah, that's the biggest reason why Japanese people cannot speak English. Okay, let's talk about the next problem. Next problem is the third problem, and that is Japanese is a quite different language compared to English. Yes, obviously this is completely different language. We don't use alphabet. We use hiragana, katakana, and also kanji. So yeah, and also the grammar is all completely different. For example, in English, the basic sentence structure is subject, verb, object. But in Japanese, the structure is like the subject, object, and the verb. So when I speak English or when I want to write English, I always confused, oh, is this the right grammar? And I know the grammar, so I can collect those after like mistakenly writing. But for example, when I want to speak it, sometimes my grammar is messy, and yeah, that's the difficult part. And also, also, uh, also, for example, vocabulary compared to other European languages, it's quite different. So, yeah, it's just difficult to learn English for Japanese people. But I can say that in Japan, in Japanese, there are a lot of English words that were imported from English. For example, we can say banana, that means banana, or for example, like system. We say system, that means system. So there are a lot of English words in Japanese. So when I learned English vocabulary, I realized there are a lot of Japanese English words. So yeah, from that perspective, it's great to remember. It's easy to remember a lot of vocabularies, but compared to other language, especially other European languages, still the number of words that are similar to English is less than European languages. Yeah, so this is also the big problem. And the last reason, the fourth reason is that Japanese people just underestimate their English skills. Yes, I really feel like this. Like people, Japanese people who Japanese people who go to the university know the basic English grammar and basic English words. So if they have the opportunity to speak English or practice speaking English, I think they can speak English. But they just think that their English ability is quite bad, so they don't want to speak anymore. So yeah, that's really quite big problem. Me personally, like I said, I had never spoken in English before entering the university. So after entering the university, I had some opportunities to speak English, and at that time, I was thinking that maybe my English, I like my English is not understandable for foreigners, but actually, they can understand our English, even if I have some Japanese accents. So if Japanese people have courage to speak English, probably we can become an English speaker. Maybe we cannot become like a native, but at least we can speak a little bit English. But then maybe Japanese people are too modest. No, Japanese people are too humble, or they just underestimate ourselves. So we often say that, oh, we cannot speak English, but they know a lot of English words and grammar. So that's weird. We just need to have the courage to speak English. Okay, these are the 4 reasons why Japanese people cannot speak English. The first one is actually Japanese people don't need to speak English. Second is English education in Japan is not for speaking. Third is Japanese is a quite different language compared to English. Fourth is Japanese people just underestimate their English skills. Of course, there are some other reasons why Japanese people cannot speak English, but basically, these 4 reasons are main reasons why Japanese people cannot, or maybe the why Japanese people often say that they cannot speak English, even though they know English grammar or vocabularies. Okay, thank you for watching to my video. If you have some comments, you can write it down in the comment section. So see you in the next time.